Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and 1 p.m. Pacific. You will find it at PagerDuty Twitch channel. You can contact us through our email, communityteam@pagerduty.com. If you have any further questions or you want to talk about any of the topics that we are going to talk today, you can also join to our forums um, that you can find at communitypagerduty.com. There you can also raise any question related to the use case with PagerDuty and Terraform. Today we are going to talk about API scopes, the current state, and what is the future of API scopes and how you can leverage on it to improve improve the governance of the permissions and the APIs that you and your organization use throughout the integrations with PagerDuty. Additionally, we are going to continue with the development of the event orchestration routing module that we were working on last week. But getting back to the API scope matter, what we have now is that we can provide and generate global API keys that can be just of read only and write, but the scope of that is general, and you can do wherever that you need related with reading and writing in behalf of the account. And these keys needs to be shared through the users that you want to be making use of those keys to make authorized calls to our APIs. Now but not now, eventually, very soon, um, we will have access, or all you will have access to API scopes, which is the future of the governance permissions on APIs generated for the use of API keys generated for the use of PagerDuty APIs. This will allow you as an account administrator, will allow you to create private apps, and also will allow you to coarse grain manage the permissions that you provide to an API key, which was the big limitation that we had, or that we currently have with our current API keys. These new API keys will have limited access to specific APIs to do writing and reading. This is going to be used, or its implementation is based on OAuth 2.0 tokens. And let me show you what you will find in our public APIs documentation. I just moved to our public APIs documentation. This is the developer side from PagerDuty. From each service, you will find the required API scope that you need in order to access to the API. This is documented for for almost all the APIs, there are a few of them that aren't yet supported, but at the moment, when the at the moment when the global when the API scopes get released, all the documentation and the public needed documentation will be available in this same fashion. You will find the API and the required API scope to make use of it. Something that I need to highlight is that the API scopes at the beginning will be an early access feature, and you will need to reach out to your PagerDuty contact person in order to opt to this feature and start using API scopes. The way in which you make use of API scopes is the following. Now I'm going to move to my PagerDuty Sandbox account. Hey, Mandy, thank you. Yeah. Mandy has supplied the... Yeah, thank you for the links, Mandy. Yeah, thank you. This is the link for signing up for early access to API scopes. Now, in your PagerDuty account, when you have access to API scopes, you will need to head to integrations, app registration, and here you will need to create a new app. This app's name will be API scopes Twitch app. Yeah, Twitch app. And app use on Twitch. Yeah. Great name. And you will need after that you will have to configure the API. And what we want to activate now is a scoped OAuth. This is what matters to us right now. And here, well, the right direct URL it is optional, so you can skip it if you want to, or if you need to, and add it later. Here you will find the list of all the available scopes where you will need to. I will be checking all the scopes. I will be checking all the scopes. Sorry, you need to bear with me a few seconds for me to complete all this clicking stuff. Oh, we got it. Save. Now we have generated an pair of client ID and client secret. The client ID is, well, the identifier of the client that is making the calls, and the client secret, well, is secret. Preferably, both of these values need to be stored in a safe place for you to not be shared with other people or unwanted users that will maybe make use of the APIs without you knowing. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to head to my editor. This is client ID echo client ID. I'm going to paste it here. What I'm doing right now is just for the sake of of our today's show, because it is not recommended to share a screen while you are displaying your client ID and client secret. This is going to be, of course, and deleted later. I create the secret, and now we have them. This is going to be hide forever. Okay, you save. Great. What I'm going to show you now is, let me check if we can make use of the API scopes here. No, we can't. We can't make use of it. No, we will need to go into replicate an API call. I'm going to list the users in my account, list users. And for that, I have previously downloaded the Postman version of the API reference or API definition, list users. But I'm going to duplicate this and say that this is still okay. I'm going to rename it API Scoped to not lose the original. I'm going to keep this. And what we need is the following. This is a bidder token because it is using OAuth 2.0 to make the calls. So first thing first, I'm missing one step here. Give me a second. API scopes. Just lost the API call to generate a new token. Let me check if I have it here. Oops. Cool. I believe it's this. Let me. Yeah, here I have it. Okay, if I want to, I just going to direction this because I can't find the documentation for generating the token. But this is the API call that you need to do in order to create a new token. I will need a client ID. Here, yeah, we'll need also the client secret. Let's see, okay. Because I got confused between Vim and the terminal. Okay, I'm going to generate an API token. Mm. Invalid client or authentication method not configured on profile. What am I missing here? Okay, I'm missing the API scopes. I forgot to copy this. I forgot to copy this. Hmm. What is the issue here? Hmm. I got it. I got it now. Thus, I was using value replacing here. Which this was client ID equals to, yeah. And I also need to fix this double quotes aren't needed. Now hopefully it's going to work. Yeah. Let me make this more readable. Pass it through JQ. Oh, sadly it didn't work, but we have the token here. This is what we are interested on. We need to provide then the token here to make the API call. Let's send the API request. Okay, we got it now. I'm going to now make a change here. What we need for listing users is users read. So if I move to users read and save, I will need to generate a new token. I don't know why this didn't work. The JQ piping, but well, let's check it later. I'm going to copy the new token. This is a new token that I'm providing, which is different to the previous one because this doesn't have access to the scope users read. So I'm going to make the API call, and I got a 403 forbidden that the token is missing the required scope. And what is the required scope? Well, users read. Okay, I'm going to use the previous generated token because the what you will need with let to okay. Hi. Oh, sorry about that. I was keeping the link there, and I don't know if it was like stopping you from seeing what what I was doing. Um, these tokens are meant to be used for specific users with specific scopes or permissions. So this last token was a token that has almost all the permissions but lacks of the users read. But the previous one was a token with all the scopes. So I'm going to be able to still be using the previous token, which had the full list of abilities. So I'm going to use this um, to use the credentials to run Terraform code using API scopes. What I have here now is an implementation of our Terraform provider, which uses API scopes. And you will need, in order to use API scopes, you will need this version, by the way, is not globally available. This is the internal version of the provider, but not that much internal because it's available through our open source repository of the Terraform provider. You can find it there in the branch API scopes or something. Let me check. Scope. This is our open source repository of the Terraform provider. I'm going to look for API, maybe. Let me check all the. Oops. Oh, great. And let me look for the branch. This is weird. Mine. Let me look for mines. Maybe I forgot to upload this. But, well, do it later. But in the official implementation, you will need to provide a subdomain, which is the subdomain of your. Oh, thank you, Mandy. Mandy just provide the link. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you so much. You are helping me a lot, providing the links and being attentive to what I am doing here. So, in order to use API scopes with the Terraform provider, this is the implementation, the IRL implementation of API scopes for the Terraform provider. You will need to provide the subdomain of your account, the client ID, and the client secret. Other way to do it is providing only the token. With only the token, you will be able to generate to call the APIs through the Terraform provider, as we did in the example with Postman. But right now, we are going to review the use of the provider, supplying all the attributes required to generate a new token. So, my subdomain is, let me confirm it, PDT Sandbox JRES. Yeah, PDT Sandbox JRES. Let's put this aside. You can also source these variables as environment variables using export tf bar pd subdomain. In fact, let's do the other two, the client ID and the secret, through the environment. Export tf bar pd client ID equals to, I have it here. Yeah, client ID. This is the client ID. Client ID. I don't need these quotes, but I already used it. And let's export the other. Tf bar pd client secret. And again, let's look for the secret that I generate before. Yeah, this one. Great. Now, I will be able run to plan this Terraform configuration, which is going to create a new team, a service called database, a service mimicking a web service, a service for a web service, an event orchestration, and also an event orchestration router. Save this. Oh, sorry, I delete the domain. We don't need this. We don't need this. In fact, yeah. Now we can execute Terraform plan, PagerDuty token. Yeah, that's why. As I said, this is an implementation that is missing of making this token variable optional. Now, if I run Terraform plan, supported argument, now sorry about this. Let me go here and do the following. Sorry, it was I wasn't using the provider that is updated to support API scopes. Here. From time. And again, maybe I got lost. Sorry. I haven't noticed that I wasn't. Let me check where I was. I haven't noticed this. Other. No, I was here. Oh, sorry about that. I got lost because I was in the wrong pane. Okay. So Terraform plan again. Okay. It worked. It worked because it is using the scoped API token to generate the plan and validate that the configuration isn't in my PagerDuty environment. If I apply this, Terraform apply, this is going to, okay, it shows me the plan that all is okay and can be applied. In a few seconds, this is going to show the expected output. Okay, it says it gave me API scopes errors. No, I get it. Look what happened. This is the error. The error called to obtain a new scope or out access token failed. We couldn't get a new token. Maybe I did wrong. Need to give me a second. I need to check. Mhm. I'm checking if the variables maybe were wrong. But no, they were good. PDF, client ID. Let's going to hard code them. Check if this is working correctly. Put it here. And the other one was this. Oh, the other one was this. Terraform, apply. Yes. Okay. Something went wrong when I exported the environment variables. Maybe I misspelled something, but we can check that later. Or on next time, we can do it better. But it's a bit odd. Okay, I was able to create the resources. Was create the event orchestration router, and now I'm going to delete service and a specific service. For that service, let me check something here. Delete this isn't using. Okay, the scope that is not available for these tokens are the users one. Well, if I want to delete a service, let's look for services, delete a service, I will need the services right scope. So I'm going to deactivate that scope, services right. Let's click on save. And now all the new tokens will be generated with that scope. So I'm going to try to delete one of the services. Let's say, let me check. Okay, I'm using or referencing both services on the event orchestration router. So I'm going to also comment this, and let's say Terraform plan. Okay, the plan was good. Say now Terraform apply. Expected to be good also the plan, and let's say yes. Okay, look at this. This is the expected error. PagerDuty service that www destroying the ID of the service. Delete API call to fail because service right API scope is required, and we deactivated that API scope. Because of that, we can update the services or maybe write new ones or delete them. This is like the one of the main benefits of having coarse-grained API scopes for your APIs that will allow you to generate tokens for users or apps, or because these tokens will also be able to be used in behalf of the account, but for only applications. You will not need of an ghost user or a user um, which is not real, which is only created to 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 receive an API token. This token will be detached from any user. They will be independent. So now reverting the services right, because I want to destroy all the Terraform configuration I created before. I'm going to again run Terraform plan, which I expect to work okay, and describe me. Oh, sorry. I don't want to do this. I want to destroy all the configuration. Terraform destroy. And should be to destroy all the resources and configurations. Say yes. And after a few seconds, all the resources were destroyed because I revert back the services read API scope to my credentials or the credentials of the app that I registered to be using today in our Twitch show. So this is, to wrap up, this is what API scopes it's going to be doing very soon when it gets globally available, and it's going to be also supported in the in our Terraform provider and all our APIs through the API reference, where you are going to be able to find every API scopes that is needed to call the API using these new tokens. And also remember that you will need to sign up for getting early access to use API tokens when it gets globally available released.